And one thing after another, South Korea is now officially a sensitive country to the U.S. as of Tuesday. How can it be removed from the sensitive country list? We are joined by Professor Chai Sangmi this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
So, what is a sensitive country to begin with, according to the U.S.? I mean, what guidelines does the U.S. lay out for a sensitive country?
The United States use the term sensitive country to refer to the nation that is considered to carry security risk, especially in the field of science and technology. This doesn't mean the country is hostile, but that the U.S. sees a higher chance that sensitive information like a military-related technology or high-end data system could be leaked, misused, or transferred to the countries that are strategic competitor. So when a country is on the list, and the researchers and institutions from that country may face tighter restriction. For example, they might need extra background checks or be blocked from accessing certain U.S. labs or technologies. So these rules are designed to protect the U.S. National interests, especially in areas like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and cybersecurity.
It all started with visitors to U.S. labs who reportedly mishandled sensitive information. That's what the U.S. argues. But Professor Chai, as you know, there are doubts over the designation. Is that a justifiable reason to designate South Korea as a sensitive country?
Uh, you know, According to the US official, there have been a few cases where researchers from South Korea, as you said, while visiting US labs, failed to properly handle sensitive information. This might include the sharing restricted data with unauthorized people or not following security rules. So while these instances are serious, many experts argue that such a rare and individual mistake should not justify placing the entire country under broad restrictions. In other words, punishing a whole country because a few individuals made in errors may be too heavy-handed. So mistake can happen in any nation, and most research institutions have internal systems to prevent such issues.
Well, you briefly mentioned this. The designation is concerning all because it'll impair bilateral cooperation, especially in science and technology, and pose economic limitations. What kind of restrictions should we expect? I heard that it's going to be a lot more trickier for researchers to enter U.S. science-related, firms and labs, right?
Yes, being labeled in a sensitive country could lead to real consequences for science and industry, as you said. For instance, Korean researchers may face stricter visa rules or lose access to joint research projects in key fields like biotechnology, AI, and quantum computing. Korean companies might also find it harder to partner with US tech firms or receive American investment. Given that South Korea is a global leader in advanced industry, especially semiconductors, this could limit innovation, reduce Korea's ability to compete globally. So the decision may also impact the students and academics by creating barrier to research exchange.
Well, Professor Che, I have to ask, does the designation have anything to do with Trump's tariffs? I mean, will it get in the way of South Korea-U.S. tariff negotiations?
As you know, the U.S. recently signaled higher tariffs on Korean products, especially in manufacturing and defense-related sectors. So if the trust between the two countries weakens due to this designation, it could make a trade negotiation more difficult. In diplomacy and economics, trust is a key, as you know. Strained relationship over research policy might spill over into trade and investment discussion, potentially delaying or complicating future agreements.
Professor Che, experts I've spoken to say it's going to take some time for South Korea to get rid of itself from that list. But how can the designation be dropped? In what way can that be done?
Actually, the designation is not permanent, so US and South Korea have already started discussion to resolve this issue quickly. South Korea can respond by strengthening internal safeguard for research cooperation, improving transparency, and ensuring that its institutions follow US security rules. If the US sees enough progress, it can be moved from remove Korea from the list. However, this process may take time as it involves, multiple U.S. government departments and careful review of risk. So open communication and evidence-based reassurance will be critical.
Professor Chai, I have to ask, how long are we saying? Weeks or months?
We cannot, expect that. As I told you, all kind of progress, made before that Korea removes from the list.
Alrighty, Professor Chai, thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your insight with us this morning. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.